Welcome to the Queendom, aka my bedroom. You know, where it goes down.
Everything starts somewhere.
You know, we all start somewhere. Studio coming soon. So yes, as you can see, the title, Can Faith Exist in the Club Industry? Bit of a tricky one. I was just expecting to get in trouble with it, but I'm big people now, innit? So
I said to you, just do it.
Did you get in trouble?
It's true. Oh my God.
I phoned you yesterday and I was just like, look, we're just doing this. Yeah, let's just do it.
We are. I'm a bit hot. I should have worn.
Oh, I can't hear Milktray.
At all?
No, I didn't hear anything he said.
Hold on.
Hello.
So can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Maybe let me just pull you out real quick and put you back.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Because that seemed to work for me. Does that work?
How about now?
Oh, perfect. Crystal clear, sir.
I don't know what that's about. Anyway, this is my very good friend Afshan, and I've invited her on because we have worked together in this industry for some years. She's just an amazing person to work with. She's like, if I could work with one person, it would be Afshan. She's just that person who as much as I know a lot of people, I'm not really the type of person to be talking all night. You won't see me talking, but you'll see me with, I don't know, with the paper, the computer, I'm that person. But Ash is the person that will get everyone in shape. Tell everyone what they need to be doing, where they need to be. She will get the deals. She will just like, person, great person to work with. And also we've become really, really, really good friends.
We have.
And yeah, we've been through lots together, and it's just been great,
Amazing.
And Mr. Milktray, Mr. Milktray, it's so mad because we've both been in this kind of industry. Maybe because he was in South, where I never came across you so much.
Yeah.
When I was doing club events.
Yeah.
It's like we never really. We never had a chance to really work together as such, because it was like different. We're doing the same things, but just different.
Yep.
I'd be here, you'd be here, kind of thing. And it's kind of later on where we started connecting, and then there's so much that we've got in common and people that we know in common.
Very much.
And yeah, it's just amazing how things come together.
Yeah, tell you, I fully agree. Fully.
So yeah, he's an amazing DJ. He's that DJ who will just turn over a club, turn over your wedding, your christening. Yeah. Like he could just adapt to every situation, literally. And
I do try.
Very well.
Lots in the community as well. So you do a lot. Actually, while you're here, can you let us know some of the things that make you so amazing?
Good evening, everybody. DJ Milktray from Sweet Boy Entertainment, Flex FM. DJing for 25 plus years now.
Wow.
So that kind of just gives people an idea of like how long I've been around this thing. I used to carry record boxes for like Ill Kids and Rampage and Boogie Bunch and DJ Swing and 90% and all of that. So I come from that era, and we all kind of come from the same era. You know what I mean? Raving at Gas Club and Hanover Grand and Ezekiel's and Samantha's, you know what I mean? I come from that era. And yeah, it's been a great journey. I'd probably say the last 10 months have probably been the most career defining for myself with regards to everything, with regards to lockdown and COVID, being made redundant, starting my own business, working alongside Croydon Council, working with the Queendom Ep, the BME Forum, Crystal Palace Football Club. So much stuff happened within like the last 10 months. And as we are talking about religion and faith and all of that, I put it all down to my faith. So that's the end of that.
Well, what about you, Ash? How did you get into the events industry? What do you do in general?
I think that's a bit of a hard one to follow, Milktray. What was I supposed to
Get out.
I think it's I think my entry into it was just for the love of music, similar to Milktray, and being able to start just talking. And I landed, I don't know how, I landed myself on a talk radio show many moons ago on Baseline FM. And this is when G Monies and the Yardies and yeah, and it was kind of like.
And just for the record, she is fully 100% Indian, but she's more Yardi than I am. Okay, I just wanted to put that out there.
And for some reason, I live in the west side of town, but I ended up spending most of my time in South London. Hence why I've known Milktray for over 20 years and grew up on that scene with the DJs and the sound systems. And I just kind of fell in love with the movement per se. And I grew with it. And because I was just good at what I did, was networking and putting people together and places. And I kind of just started formulating relationships and I kind of just fell into it. I didn't really have a direction other than the love of music and the ability to talk. And because I like connecting people, which has kind of followed through to now, I just kind of connect things. So my love for music and working on the radio station, working on Baseline FM, I met some amazing DJs, and most of which I still speak to now. So then it kind of just happened that we
you've frozen.
Started putting on club nights, and we started putting on events. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Just from working on the radio station, from those from working on the radio station, you start building bonds and relationships with different DJs, and then you just say, okay, well, let's put on an event. And let's do this, and the creative side kicks in and you get productive and you start coordinating this and that, and it just kind of grew from there. And I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it. We were just we were good at what we did, and it succeeded, and it was a winning formula. I mean, I remember the days of like Milktray, remember like Market Bar, and going in there and going outside clubs and flyering with paper flyers in the rain, and that's what we used to do. But we loved it. We actually really loved it because there was a true passion for it. And when we had the dead dancers, it didn't matter because the 10 people in the dance were raving hard. It made it, you went and raved. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The DJ didn't mind playing for 10 people because it was for the love of music. Yeah. And we did it. And then we had the pack dances, and it kind of continued, and it never really stopped. And as much as we tried to do a day job because the industry isn't what it used to be, but the love for that passion always kind of brings you back in. So and obviously now in the last, I'd probably say 5 years, I've come back into the industry, but then doing festivals and events and weekenders and on a bigger scale. And I love it because obviously I've always done project coordination and project management in other fields. Yeah. And now I was allowing the universe and my faith was allowing me to do both. My love for music and what I'm really good at, which is project management. And I was able to merge the two. And fortunately for me, and I always say that it's fortunately that people were able to see my skills and word of mouth. Yeah, word of mouth. And I was getting phone calls, to say, can you do this project? Can you come and pitch for this project? And I would walk in, I would pitch, and I would get it because I'm good at what I do. And it took a long time for me to be able to confidently say that. I'm good at what I'm doing, and I'm shit good at it. But it took a very long time because, like Milktray said, our communities and our faiths kind of make you feel like music isn't acceptable or it isn't the root. But the reality is that the universe found a route to merge the two. And I do it really well. So, it's kind of where I'm at now. But, you know, COVID has had other plans, you know, and I had 3 major festivals that got postponed this year. And unfortunately for me, I found myself kind of questioning where I was going. Do I go back to a 9 to 5 now? Because obviously this isn't happening.
So
and it's difficult. But, you know, it's unfortunately, it's kind of, you know, like a hit and miss. But it's been through the love of music that I'm still kind of persevering with it. And because I'm good at what I do. And now I've found a market where I can do the 2 that I love the most.
Yeah.
You know, and it's finding that middle ground kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It is really, really hard. Being Asian, first and foremost, being Muslim, and being a female in this industry, which is male dominated, and finding yourself being questioned as to why you're there. Why are you there? Because you're a woman, firstly.
I was asked that last weekend. Why are you here?
Seriously?
Why are you here? Yeah. Like, you know, why am I here? Because I'm female. Why am I here? Because I'm Muslim. And why am I here? Because I'm Asian. Do your parents know you're here?
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, my mum said to me earlier, what's the interview about? I said, oh, Mum, Shah's doing a podcast, and she's asking me to talk about the events industry and being Muslim. She started laughing.
That was great. Your mum's I'm not saying anything against your mum because her biryani in it. I'm just good sides because mum we just put that out there.
But in saying that, sorry, Shah, in saying that, you know, that hasn't always been an easy road. You know, it's taken years for my mum to be able to accept what I do.
Yeah. I'm gonna come to that. I'm gonna come to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But with the questions, I'm actually gonna answer as well because even though at the moment on the flyer I said former promoter, and I know some people were like, but you still do bits. I'm like, not really. I'll work on events. Like I'm not doing what I was doing before.
Hello?
Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And the same as you, it was the love of music. Literally the love of music that put me into it. My dad was a DJ sound man. My mum was a DJ singer. Like, so to be honest, if anyone's to blame, you can blame them in it, really. So I've always been surrounded by music, whether it's live performance music or DJ music. Do you know what I mean? And so it was just natural. Like I enjoyed going out. And then because I enjoyed going out, I always had a lot of friends with me. I just knew a lot of people. I was asked, like in the West End, like, oh, can you do a guest list? Or, you know what I mean? So I started off just like that. And then I fell out of love with the West End and started to move into more, do I say urban? I'm not going to say urban, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Type of events.
Our events.
House events, stuff like that. And the funny thing is, I said the other day to somebody, and they were cracking up laughing because they never noticed. I had an event called Fame that I did with my good friend Hawks, and we did that event was really good. We did it in a few different places, and on my flyers, like if you really looked at my flyers, like you'd see like Bible verses on them, which sounds it's great. It just felt good to me.
Yeah.
Is also, do you know what I mean? He's a Christian too, and it was good to work with him because he understood it. I didn't have to, do you know what I mean? I didn't have to be one person in one place, one person in the other place. He understood it. So, you know, the flyer would look all nice, DJs, oh, don't forget the, you know what I mean? The little something to just, you know, just to remind ourselves what we're doing. I stopped doing it because I guess I stopped really enjoying it. Do you know what I mean? Like now I'll go out every so often, mainly just with my friends. That's usually the reason why I'm going. But not like before. Like throughout my 30s, every single weekend I was somewhere. So you just about see me now. But I stopped loving it, which meant I wasn't going to do the work anymore. Do you know what I mean? I knew he'd find that one funny.
I was waiting.
I was waiting for that.
Well, I was going to get them in somehow, innit? My way is my way. So yeah, well, that's me and the industry. Our next question: do you think it's necessary to live two lives to be successful in both areas? As in, do you feel like, you maybe, I don't know, maybe you've got like Christian or Muslim friends, but you don't really talk about the events, or you don't bring them to the events, and then same as people that you know in that world, you wouldn't really bring them to, church or...
For me, I look at the model of my mom and dad. Mm-hmm. So my mom and dad weren't always Christians. Like, my mom and dad got saved when I was about 7. So before all of that, I just remember, the traditional kind of house parties, all of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Seeing cans of tenants in the house, like that kind of thing. So I remember my mom and dad partying and doing that.
Same.
But one thing I love about my mom and dad is that even when they got baptized and got into church and all of that, they never changed around their friends in regards of, they never made them feel isolated, or they would never like, you got to come to church now. Like some of my uncles, my godparents, etc. My mom and dad, I've known, they've been around for longer than I've been on this planet. So I see the way my mom and dad deal with my uncles and my aunties, and they've never forced anybody to come to church. Like my dad's best friend, my Uncle Errol, like Uncle Errol don't come to church and that. But my dad has never forced it on them. And do you know what I mean? Like when they need a little blessing, they'll holler dad or whatever. Or, when there's been deaths in the family or whatever, they always come and have their funerals at our church. Or, do you know what I mean? That kind of, and I've always looked at my mom and dad and how they've kind of dealt with their friends and their social peers and kind of just done the same kind of thing. So, as you know, well, you ladies know, but I have a team of DJs around me, Sweet Boys Entertainment. We've been going since like 95. Big up to my cousin Ibs and T21 and JR and Warner and producer. But what I love about my guys, they've never like made me feel a way about my faith or my religion or whatever. And they've always respected it. So even like, for example, like in our WhatsApp group, nobody don't swear.
Yeah.
Like and they don't swear around me. Like because it's just and I'm not one to swear.
Yeah.
So, like when I look at those things, it's been easier for me to find that balance. So even when I've been in church, and there was a stage where I was in church, I grew up in church. So I was going to church with my grandma, I was raised by my gran and that. So we go to church on a Sunday. Every Sunday I'd be sitting in the second row next to her. And even when I got to an age where I could then decide whether or not I wanted to go to church, my parents have never, ever forced it on me. So that you have to come to church.
Yeah.
So when I was getting to that age, that was the age when I decided to become a DJ. And my parents just respected it. One of the reasons why probably is because my dad was a sound man. My dad was a DJ. My uncle was DJs. So like, like for me, it's always been it's been a challenge with regards to my faith within myself, but I don't feel like I can't be successful in both places. Do you know what I mean? Because look, I've been DJing for 25 years, and I feel like probably the last maybe 5 to 8 years, maybe 6 to 8 years, I feel like people have really started to know like who Milktray is.
Yeah.
Considering I've been doing this thing since 95. Yeah. So hold on.
You're the worst person to have watching this.
I know. I'm sure when he saw me on this thing, he's like, yeah, I am missing this one.
Yeah.
So, but no, I feel like it's been a journey where I've been able to maneuver through both. But ultimately, right now, I feel like I'm swaying, and I just feel like God is taking me way closer to like God and church and all of that them
And you bring
being
a lot of people with you. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
them
And
being
you're not forcing anyone; they're just coming.
Yeah, naturally.
That I had no idea that Sunday service would be what it is. I had no idea. So for me to just have I don't know, it was just like, you do Instagram lives all the time.
Yeah.
So like God was like, look, I just want you to do a gospel show.
Yeah.
And just do you. I was like, allow it. And like we're now like 4 or 5 months in. We get an average of like 250 to 300 plus every Sunday. It's crazy. So
more people that you'll get in a church nowadays.
I mean, I'm just saying there's some.
I'll say it for you, okay?
I'm just saying, I don't want to talk, I don't. There's certain top dogs out. I know they're looking at my numbers and thinking, this brother's not.
Yeah.
I don't want to upset nobody church in that, but
yeah, it's weird though listening to your journey, because obviously my journey was totally different. I mean, I'm talking miles apart. So I obviously grew up in a very traditional, semi-traditional, I should say, Pakistani household. My dad used to play rock music in the car, so it was all those, Kiss of Heart FM, Classic FM, Magic Moments, and I grew up on rock classics, so I love all those ballads. Me and Milktray go at it all the time. Oh, we used to go toe to toe with the Doobie Brothers, and come on. Oh, we've done it a few times, and then I used to hear my mum's Indian music being in the kitchen and all the rest of it. So it was, those musical influences from a very young age. And then I grew up in Northwest London. I went to school in Harlesden, so the bashment, the Red Rats, and all of that, and the jungle was on another level. So obviously then my own passion, obviously don't start with the yardie talk, but my own passion for the bashment merged with all of this different influences, kind of created I kind of fell in love with all different. I mean, at the moment I've got 700 CDs sitting underneath my bed. My mom said to me, why don't you get rid of them? And I'm like, huh? Get rid of what? Sorry? Who? What? Like, obviously some of them are still in, the plastic.
Yeah.
And the double CDs. And I'm talking all genres. I don't have much Indian music, but I will say everything else. I've got jungle CDs, drum and bass CDs, Doobie Brothers classics. I've got Now 25. I've got the pop, what I'm saying? And I've got everything. And obviously R&B and hip hop heavy as well. But I've even got Beanie Man on CD. Like, who does that? I've got vinyl. Like, what Asian Pakistani person do you know that's got vinyl in the attic? Because I didn't come from that school of thought. I never came from that era. My mum used to say to me, oh, you're learn your books, learn the Quran. Oh, yeah. It was that. And it was like, it was kind of like, I did at some stages have to do the double life in my own family home, because it was the road I'm going down, in their minds was a road that wasn't seen as correct in the Muslim faith. And it was only as I got older, I learned to then balance. I understood that there isn't everything I need to say and everything I need to kind of tell them, not because I'm hiding or lying, but they grew up in a different era, and it was a different time for them. Now, for my mum, she got married at 18, arranged marriage, grew up in Pakistan. My dad was westernized, he grew up in Bradford, so it was all a very different time. And although my parents are both very westernized, they're still very traditional. And so the love of music and the road I was going down didn't register to them that it's actually okay. She's actually not doing anything wrong. But it took a while to get there. So I never lied. I just didn't necessarily, she does do that to you. It didn't necessarily, I just chose to pick my battles wisely, and let them understand that my passion for music was never gonna just disappear. It was part of me. I used to sing when I was 16, and I was part of a drama school. And these are all things that were technically unheard of for a Muslim Pakistani girl. But I was never your average Pakistani girl. I never looked like everybody else. So I was always addressed as differently. So I never really kind of fell into that mold that society would have liked me to, because I didn't look like them and I never behaved like them. And I suppose maybe because I didn't have, and I didn't grow up with lots of Asian friends because I grew up in Harlesden. So it maybe that in itself, my social circles are reflective of the lifestyle that I chose. But I think it's about understanding and building a balance with, you know, with my parents and it wasn't so much the wider community. In their minds, it was the wider community, but for me, it was about making them understand that I'm actually not doing anything wrong. I'm just kind of finding my lane. So when I said that I was going to be on radio, it was like, what do you mean? I said, I'm going to talk. I'm going to have a talk show on radio. Would you like to listen? My mum was like, she didn't know how to process it, is the word.
Yeah.
Literally.
What?
You mean what? Yeah. First you chose to go to college all the way in South London, like you're trying to run away from home. Like, take 2 trains. There's colleges on your doorstep, but you went to South London. You've got all these new friends, and now you're telling me you're going going to be on a radio station with all these other guys.
Yeah. You're just not typical. Yeah, you're not typical. You're just not.
No, babe, no, definitely not, babe. No, say that.
Like, and Milktray's seen obviously the evolvement of Afshan, because obviously he was in South London, he was working in South London, and T21. So they've seen me come into the person I am now. But and obviously when I still speak to G Money, he set up a radio station in Kenya, and I touch base with him, and even some of the soundmen, Simon from Girl Flights and Dixie, and that's foundation.
Yeah,
like, we started doing music together, and to now be able to, they all know my mum now. They all talk about my mum's cooking.
Yeah.
But that's a massive achievement for me. And it's like, Morris is, comes around for dinner. He knows my mum plays at my daughter's birthday, and it's like, for me, that's massive.
Yeah,
because my mum and dad have accepted my my main love of life, the music, and who it is, what it is, and how much it plays a part in my life. But that didn't come easy. There was a lot of toing and froing, and
it's gone again.
Lots of trying to make them understand that it doesn't need different. It doesn't mean that I'm going down a wrong route. It doesn't mean that I'm doing something bad in their mind. It just means that I'm not necessarily going down a traditional route in their mind, but it's not wrong.
Yeah, I hear that.
And I think that's a very different balance.
We got a question coming, but I'm going to answer it as well myself. I feel like I've always been one person. I've always just been one person. And, to people that I know from that whole club world or whatever, I was the church girl. But then in church, and then, as you know, I used to sing in a gospel choir for 12 years or something like that. To them, I was the party girl. So it was like, I was something else. Everywhere I went, I was something else. I never fit in. I was never like everyone else. Yeah. And I'd go and do a gospel concert somewhere out of London, and then be coming back with my clothes in my bag because I'm going to Emma's house to get changed because I've got dance. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was like, for some people it might have been a double life, but it wasn't, because everyone knew I was going. Even Basil Meads, like my second dad, I love him to bits. People are like, oh, you're going party tonight? I'll be like, yes, Baz, I'm going party. You know what I mean? I never hid anything. I was very open, down to even my church. And that's what, when they're doing events, they come to me to help with events, because they, you know what I mean? They know I'm very open about what I've done. And I've never tried to live too light, but I understand how it would have been for you, because you're just trying to you don't want to upset your parents or most of it, so it's like you're kind of almost protecting them and just keeping things nice. But I guess with my mum, like yours, Milktray, my mum wasn't always a Christian. She used to hold raves and stuff. Literally, I did everything she did. Hold raves and stuff like that as well as my dad. So and she never pushed me into going to church. I made my own decision to, I got baptized when I was 21, so I didn't grow up in church. No one made me go. it was my own decision, but still, I still had that love for, you know, just spending time with friends. I love music. I love dancing, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So that was me. Oh, the question that came through that I wanted to put up is the concept of living your life about understanding the environment and what each environment will bring out of you, and then extended and said also what you can bring to the environment.
It's an interesting one, because for that, and you know, if you go back, you know, if you look at what Islam says about raving and partying, it's a very grey area. And the reason why it's so grey is because what they say about being in that environment is that anything that's a temptation that will lead you into a wrong path is a no. So intoxication of any type. So whether it be drugs, whether it be alcohol, whether it be women or men. Yeah. So any type of intoxication, and it's similar to what I know from my understanding of the Bible. So they're kind of on par with anything that's, you know. So why are you putting yourself in that environment? Now, obviously, the grey area is that you have self-control. So, and obviously, Islam is one of those things that where they say if it's a grey area, it's a no. So it's a hard, you know, anything that's grey means it's a no. Whereas we're in a time where we have a better understanding. We're old enough to know where environments we're putting ourselves in and what level of self-control we have as adults.
Yeah.
So I work with it.
Self-control.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, I know why I go. I mean, obviously, over the last couple of years, you know, I've been doing lots of stuff with Pioneer Plays, House Super, and lots of stuff around the house scene. And I, you know, go in, I do my job, and I do it very well. That's why these teams have me there. And it allows them flex to then go and enjoy themselves. But does it mean that I'm going there to be intoxicated or do technically what's wrong in Islam?
It's the same for me. When I wasn't putting on the events, but I was still, a lot of the promoters, I still work with them. They'll ask me to come and look after their door and them, you know, taking their money and stuff like that. And the reason they will call me is because they trust me. Right. And they know that I'm not going to be drunk. They know that when I count up the money, it's going to be correct.
Exactly.
So they can go and enjoy themselves. They can go and drink. But at the same time, you know, I've seen when they may, you know, for the look, they may go and get this young girl that just, you know, just gives the look, but then really all she wants to do is just rave. She can't wait for the door to shut to go and rave. But they know on the door, I have no interest what's going on inside.
Right, same.
Like I'm here till the end of the night chatting to bouncers and whatever not.
Exactly the same. I mean, I've worked so many events with Shah. Shah is my go-to. So if I do anything that's larger scaled and I need spreadsheets, calculation, Shah's my go-to. I'm hands-on and I'm running around like a headless chicken trying to coordinate everything. Shah's got to tell me, these are the figures. I work with Shah so well. Shah is my go-to. When I do festivals abroad, Shah is coming with me. She's my partner. She's coming in my pocket. There is no question about it, because I know as a team, everything I like, Shah fits in. But again, when we go to these events or we run these events, when people see us, they know we're a formidable force. They know exactly what they're getting with us. Loyalty, honesty, trustworthiness, and they know they're going to get an event that is next to none. I've still got comments now from Pioneer Plays on the weekend. We've been given, the team I took with me, they were given tips, cash tips, because the event was run so well. I've had comments and feedback saying that the event was amazing, the way that we handled the seating, the this, the that, and it makes it all worthwhile. And it makes me realize that, you know what we do, and we do it very well. And so I'm not going to feel guilty because I'm a Muslim that I'm doing this job. I'm going to feel proud that as a Muslim, I can do my job in this environment and conduct myself in a responsible manner, that I'm not, if a Muslim person saw me doing what I do best, they're not going to feel ashamed to say, oh, she's a fellow Muslim. In fact, they're actually going to say, you know what? She handles herself. She's Muslim and she carries herself as a Muslim, because first and foremostly, I am a Muslim.
Yeah.
And I think that it's that fine balance, isn't there?
I think the second part to the question, like what you bring to the environment, Milktray, would you touch on that? Do you think?
I mean, for me, it's I think sometimes we don't realize what we actually bring to the environment. So I know like everybody on our circuit knows that Milktray goes church.
Yeah.
Like, we've all been in raves, and man will be like, yo, last set Milktray's on, but we gotta hurry up because he's getting church aborted.
Yeah. I know.
And I've never been ashamed of it or whatever, but I have had people, in the past, say like, I respect that. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of, I think what we need to understand is that with regards to our religion and our faith is that we're lights. Yeah. So, I feel like sometimes, just like kind of going back to Sunday service, I can reach people on Sunday service who have who's either had no ambitions or any kind of dealings of wanting to go into a church.
Yeah.
Any desire.
Some have not been to church for 10 years. Some of them don't want to go to church or whatever. But they will come and sit on Sunday service for 2 hours. And they will sing along to gospel. They will do read hymn book. They'll get the word. I mean, some of the messages that I receive on a Sunday are like actually like mind blowing. And and that's all come from the journey. So I realized that God's put me in this position because he's using me as a light, and I've had to kind of battle with that within myself. I've had to have conversations with like, do I really want to do this? Because even when I was growing up in church, and there was a period in time in my church where there was so much young people when I was growing up, and then when everybody kind of got to the age of about 16, a lot of my friends stopped coming to church because they were at that age where they had the option. And again, a lot of my peers in church came from very old school, traditional, strict Caribbean household. So you have to go to church.
Yeah.
I forgot. That's it. No bother with it. But my mom and dad never, as I said before, they were never like that. So church were then, the numbers in our young people were dropping.
It wasn't a punishment to you, I guess. It wasn't a punishment to them.
No, cool. So like the numbers started to drop, and then my church started to see. And the thing is, within church and that kind of thing, like the elders, and I respect them because like they can see things with their spiritual eye that you can't see. So he could already foresee that I was meant to be a light and a leader in this thing, but I just didn't want it at the time, because right now I've just bought Total Can't You See on a 7-inch vinyl for £7.99 from in red, and I didn't go and play it. So I have I've got no real like desire to be this. No, because my church were trying to get me to become like get baptized and like if we can get Martin in early, he can start drawing them back in. I'm like, nah. I ain't got it. And then you know what God's done? God's let me go around the entire house.
He said, all right, no worries.
Cool. He said, cool, no problem, son. Go on, do your thing.
Do your thing and come back round. Go. And it's the same.
And now you've come right back, and now you're doing the church service online in your house.
Right.
How about that? So so to me, it's always been about being a light, but now I'm at a stage in my life and in my faith and in my walk where I accept it. So now I know what I bring to the world. Now I know what I bring to the environments around me. So that's why as I said earlier, when I'm around people, I know people that cuss and swear all the time. But you see, when they're on the phone with me, not that I've never said to you, like, no, don't swear, but they just don't swear at me.
There's just something there that they feel, I shouldn't. Yeah.
So that's me.
Some of it's respect for you, but then also, do you know what I mean? Maybe it's the God that they're running from. They can feel him when you're on the phone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you see, sometimes when I start talking, I don't even realize it. That's just, whoa, hold on. I'm in my head. I'm like, whoa, don't. Hey, God, calm down, you know.
That happens to me when I speak to some of my friends. I swear, I've with what's funny is that when we're in these environments, which can be dark, you can go in, there could be somebody taking drugs, there could be all sorts going on, right? But it is about knowing yourself and knowing that these things I don't get tempted. Like literally from a child, from in school, I was hanging around with the bad girls and the good girls. The bad girls were all smoking. I had no desire. I'd be standing with them. I had not one desire to even try it. It didn't even affect me. So I've never been that person. Do you know what I mean? It's like I kind of just do what I feel is good for me.
Right.
So
I think that's what it is.
I can be in that place, and everyone will know that I go to church. Everyone knows. Do you know what I mean? I will have DJs ask me for prayer. Like, think they would never go to a church. They're not going to church. But they might go through something and come and talk to me on the sly and think that I'm their way in, or if I talk to Shah, I'm good. Do you know what I mean? They will do that. So I'm like, I don't mind. If that's my way, then let me be that. Like, them times people asking me for prayer, and I'm like, I won't even pray in public. Like, I'm too shy for all of that. But I'm like, all right, gosh, I can't say no. Do you know what I mean? So
that's
and even a lot of people that have been baptized, some of them have gone because they've seen me post stuff about my church, because I'm always talking about my church and stuff, and I'll post it same way. You might see a rave flyer, and then straight after that you'll see a sermon, but then people will see the sermon and enjoy it, and then they'll be like, I want to come to your church, it looks really, and then they'll turn up, and they'll come because they know me, they know that I'm not going to judge them in any way because I was in the same place as them.
Can I just jump in real quickly? So especially in the lockdown, so like spiritually, I've been having this debate within myself, because like I'm doing Sunday service, but then I'm playing out at Aquam on a Sunday. So I've even spoken to my team and I said, like, you know what, man, I don't know if I'm going to be at Aquam as much, I don't know if I'm going to be posting it as much. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm like spiritually in a different place. I'm like, I just feel like I'm maneuvering a little bit different right now. So, and again, and I know I've said it before, but the support and the love that my team have for me, like, T21 and DJR and what, like, they just respect it. And I can't stop talking about them in that regard, because they've never, as my DJ partners, like, I've been playing with Morris since like 2002. JR's been with us for like over 10 years. Warner's been our manager for over 10 years. You know what I mean? But, and like, I love, see, like on a Sunday, when I see my man them come in the Sunday service, just catch a little, and I see a 2 clap, and I see a little red hymn book. I'm like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? But I've been dealing with that myself, and saying to, like, and having that conversation with God, saying like, you know what, God, I don't feel right. So I'm not even going to post it. And then having that conversation with my team, nobody was ever like, boy, you know what, like, I hear that, but it's not good for business. They were like, no, cool, I respect it. And I was like, do you know what? Love that.
Yeah. And it's weird, like in the same hand, so yesterday I had a timeless meeting with the team from Timeless Weekender, and randomly one of the guys said to me, oh yeah, your posts are just like something different. He says, you post, because obviously on a Friday I'll post a religious message, a positive one, and then straight after I'll post events that I'm promoting or working on, or events. And he said, I look at it and I respect it in awe, because you find a fine balance, because your message is always positive, and even though it's religious, the message is for everybody.
It's always,
and then you obviously promote. And the thing is, I don't just promote events, I promote all of my peers. So if, for example, you're having a podcast, I'll promote that. If you're having an event, I'll post that. I'll promote your Sunday service, or I'll promote somebody who started a new business or a new restaurant, because I'm all about empowering everybody to win in this thing called life. If we all do a little bit for our peers and our people around us, that's what my faith teaches me. Is to bring out, to love everybody, regardless of what religion and color and creed. It's about bringing out the best in people, empowering people to win. And obviously, if we're all doing the same thing, then we're all destined to win, and our faith is doing something right. Because I think we get caught up in the logistics of our religion, because people misconstrued what is actually written. The reality is all of the faiths preach the same message, about guidance, about about following the righteous path. But what is the righteous path? To be honest, have faith first and foremostly, and to be kind and be generous and all of the right stuff. So it's about understanding what part your religion plays to you. Is it empowering your life or is it controlling your life?
Ooh.
Come on now. Come on.
This is good, This is good. This is some good stuff today, I tell you.
But you know what it is? I had a discussion with Hawks. I remember we were in a club. Okay, so me and Shah have worked this event. Oh yeah, I think we worked this event. At the end of the night, everybody's gone home, and we are having a religious conversation in an empty club at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And I kid you not, Hawks was talking about Christianity. I was talking about being a Muslim, and it wasn't a conflict. We found so much middle ground. And another colleague, another friend of Hawks, I don't actually know the gentleman, he was like, "Oh my God, you're Muslim?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I've never spoken to a Muslim the way," he said, "I always clash with Muslims." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because they don't talk like you." And I started laughing, and I was like, it's my faith doesn't control me. It empowers me to be the person I am, and to call, it's about acceptance, and I don't dissect my religion. I look at it as what it is, and I take the teachings from it. That's what I teach my daughter, and so we sat there, and imagine for an hour and a half, we're talking about religion in a club at 4 o'clock in the morning. Who does that?
I mean, I would have left at about 4 because I probably would have at first service, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. And this is what we have to learn to accept. Our religion is empowering, and it makes us happy. It also helps take away the sadness of life and all the rest of it, because it gives us an outlet. I know that I reach for my prayer mat when I'm sad or when I'm upset or when I'm grieving, and it empowers me because I feel like I'm being helped without actually knowing. And the same way in my professional life, when I reach for strength or an event is stressing me out, prayer is what's lifting me through.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Okay. This one. How do you respond to those in the faith that speak against your profession?
Go on. Go on.
How do I respond? So I come from a traditional, old school Caribbean Pentecostal church. Yes.
Fire.
Yes. So we don't really understand how you can be DJ and and come up. No, and to be honest, that was really like, I didn't really get that a lot at church, if I'm honest. But there have been people on my journey who've been like, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah. And I'm like, it doesn't, but like, the Bible says that, God, he will use the unqualified. Do you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't want the prim and the proper. And I feel like right now, especially in this day and age, that is what churches need to do. Like, I think we need to kind of, we can't forget the old school.
More outreach, isn't it?
Yeah, we can't forget the old school. We can't, like, you know what I mean? And that's why on my service, we do Red Hymn Book Redemption section, because that's where I come from. I come from all of that, yeah? But at the same time, like, like Dwayne and them man, they're not going to be hearing that. They're not going to want to be understanding that. So, I feel like for me, it's always been a case of just doing what I'm doing and just allowing my relationship with God to develop in whatever way it needs to develop, because I know that my story and my journey isn't the quote unquote traditional journey. Like, I was like brought in church at a young age, been in church, stopped going church, got back into church, did Alpha course, and then even then I was a little bit unsure about getting baptized. And then one of my sisters, Natalie, did Alpha, and then she did her Alpha course. And on the day when she was getting baptized, she got baptized, and then they did all the baptisms, and then they opened up the baptism. They said, like, is anybody? And all I remember is one point I was sitting upstairs, and then next point I was walking through the church. It was packed. Like, our church was about 600 to 700. So I'm walking through church. I don't even understand what is going on, but the church is screaming, they're cheering. It's all going off. I got baptized that day. My other sister got baptized that day, and my auntie Paulette got baptized on that same day. So I'm looking at my journey and saying it's not conventional, but that's what God wants. Like, he's using my journey, because there's somebody like even right now on this live and they're saying, raw, but that's mad.
Yeah.
Like, but my man, like, is talking about church online, and my man can still mix anything with no headphones. That's mad. Like,
what did you do the other day? And I posted it. What did you put? I was so lashed by this. You mixed. It was jungle
with gospel.
Yes. Some gospel song.
Gospel, yes, because I remember you posting it.
Yeah.
Mate.
Nuts.
The way I was raving in my room, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, but and I think that's like, anybody that looks at my journey now, I feel like they can understand why God has taken me on this journey in this way, because it's so relatable to those that are out there on the grassroots. Like, I get them on the road. Like, I can be driving at a traffic light. I was at a traffic light the other day. A man pulled up next to me, bibbed. You know, like, sometimes you don't even want to look.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, brother, look, it's fun. See Sunday service, fam. Mad thing, you know, brother.
Mad thing.
Yeah, amazing.
Me and my little baby, you get me?
Oh.
Like, when I got her, the weekends that I got her, she's watching Sunday service, fam. You know, like that. Keep doing your thing, brother. Keep doing your thing. I'm like, oh, okay, cool for you. That's it.
Right. And if it wasn't for you doing that, he would have never have seen that. He would have never been going to church. Even though, yes, you can find a million sermons on YouTube, you're not going to look for that. If that's not your way, you're not looking for it. But I'll go and check, Milk's online. He usually plays with great tunes. He's doing this. Let me listen. Do you know what I mean? Like, you had to go through all that whole journey. You had to do that. That was part of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this wouldn't work. No one would care.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know that God was preparing me for this stage, and I know that this stage in my life and my walk and my faith, and even within my career, is preparing me for the next stage, because I knew, like, Milktray, like, we wouldn't have Sunday service if I hadn't started doing Milktray's motivation, because I wasn't that confident about speaking. Like, again, it was the whole kind of, you're a DJ, but how can you be a motivational speaker? It doesn't again, like, God doesn't want, he doesn't want to use the conventional anymore. Like, it's because we're not living in a conventional world. We're not living in a conventional day and age. Technology is the way forward. So, and I feel like the whole lockdown and everything has had to force churches to up their game with regards to their online presence, etc., etc. And now churches are obviously streaming online, and they're doing that, and they're reaching people that they would never have before. I spoke to my cousin this week, and he was like, our church is open, and he was saying, there's people coming to church that they've never seen before, and the reason that they can work it out is because people have been watching the online services. So it makes sense.
100%.
It's one of those weird ones, isn't it? It's like, you know, I think that everybody's journey is very different. Obviously, we went through a massive thing where, as a Muslim, we were outcasted because every Muslim is a terrorist. And so when I talk about being a Muslim, it took, for a long time, it took a lot of courage, because obviously we're terrorists. We're all the same.
Yeah.
And here comes this chick with curly hair and doesn't really look Pakistani, and she's Muslim, and she talks about being Muslim openly. You know, in a time where, you know, we're all terrorists. So when I talk about it from a different perspective, it's almost like I'm shining light on the fact that we're not all terrorists. We're not all, you know, very narrow-minded, and we all don't just live in our communities. We live in the real world. You know, we live in this Western society, and we do integrate with this society, because when we were growing up, it was very like, you know, the Pakistanis stay with the Pakistanis. We never grew up in that household. My parents aren't like that. My family is very multicultural. So it allows me to teach people that I'm not a terrorist, first and foremostly, you know, and whatever typical mindsets that you've got and associated with that, it's not that. I'm actually from the same world that you are, and I do it very well, but my faith still represents. I'm still representative of my faith. I still pray.
100.
So, you know, go on.
No, sorry, finish what you're saying.
No, go on.
No, in regards to those who've been like negative, I mean, I get it all the time. It's like water for ducks back nowadays. To be
I saw your post the other day.
It's like all right. So recently, literally, what day was it? That was
Sunday.
Right. So I went out to enjoy oneself with my friends, and then a guy that I've known for ages. He's actually at MC.
Oh,
asked me, why are you here? Why? What? He says, "Are you supposed to be like at church?" Or I don't know. He made some silly comment. I might blame it. Maybe he was drinking or something.
Yeah.
And I really had to sit him down and just school him. Like, you can't. It's not. People who are not of a faith always look at Christianity as rules and regulation. It's a lifestyle. Like, I am just me. I'm one person. You will never find me on my head top twerking or whatever. You're not going to see that for me. Do you know what I mean? People know. Do you know what I mean? I'm never dressed outrageous. People know me. And one time, actually, so when I was in the choir, LCGC choir, oh gosh, and somebody emailed the office, the head office. Yeah. Somebody emailed the office. I think it was anonymous, I'm not too sure. But they sent a message that would usually go up on the message board on the website. But obviously we vet it first before it goes up, you know, people in the head office. And they said, definitely referring to me, because I was the only one who was doing events or whatever that was in a choir. And they said, how can you have people singing on stage or singing the light or something along those lines while leading people into darkness?
Oh.
So I was like, oh, okay. So they tried to come on a deep, you know. So obviously I went to Daddy Basil, Reverend. And he had my back all the way. Yeah, I love that man, you know. He's like, well, you can respond if you want to respond. He's like, you don't have to respond because, you know, it's a troll who claims to be Christian. Because my thing was, if you are so Christian and you can see me as a Christian do something so bad, why don't you come and guide me? Why don't you encourage me to do something else? You're just coming to just bash me. And that to me is not Christian behavior. So I responded. I came with my scripture. Do you know what I mean? Like, I made sure that whatever I said was biblical. So, do you know what I mean? So I just came back and I just brought it back to Jesus. Please, if you're a follower of Christ, that means you're a follower of Jesus. Look at his behavior first, then come to me. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, I get it I get comments all the time, and I'm not bothered because my walk is never going to be the same as someone else's.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I've never really encountered it like heavily at all. I think maybe my parents have had, maybe people have said stuff to my parents, or do you know what I mean? But I think it's on a big DJ and all. But then, you know, last year they had me at church doing the Christmas pageant. So
because they know you bring people, you make Christianity look interesting. Like the people that I can talk to, the people that don't leave the four corners of the four walls of the church, they can't approach the same people. So what I do, things that I do are no use to those people. There's people to do that. There's people in church that I needed there to do their job. But then I'm here, you're here to do something else. And I think people just need to stop judging everyone else's walk. Do your own thing. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that topic there will make me hot. So
you got the same one the other day, innit? After attending the event, you got it on your Insta as well. Somebody was in your DMs. Commenting on.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it wasn't about my faith. That was just about the COVID.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Yeah.
No, that was more about COVID. People just like to talk. Yeah. They're at home and bored.
Yeah, I think so. And we were all socially very distant.
Well, this is it. You can't control people. People make their own choice. If you want to stay away from people, stay at home.
Simple.
Exactly.
Okay, I think we kind of covered that one. Okay, what about we kind of covered a bit of this. This is a popular view. Clubbing generates temptation like drug abuse, drunkenness, crime, and sex. It's my brother laughing at me. He knew I'd get heated.
I think everywhere we go, that is the walks of life. We're on Instagram. There's temptation there. You know, there's temptation of women, temptation of men, temptation of alcohol, because everybody's selling something. They're selling sex pages, blah, 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 blah. The list is endless. The world is full of negativity and intoxications and all of the things that are bad for you. But again, it boils down to you as an individual and about self-control and your relationship and how strong you are within yourself. Would that be right, Martin?
I agree. I think for me, like, DJing is who I am. You know, it's always since 1995. It's been who I am.
Get t-shirt.
It's who I am. And it's been a part of my life, and it probably will be for a little while longer. I don't know how much longer. I'm just being honest. I'm just putting it out. I've said this on Sunday service a few times. I don't know how much longer I have within the DJing kind of world. I have left. Will I always be involved in DJing? Yes, I will. That's why I have the Hope program. You know, so I'm now in a position to teach the next generation as young as 7. You know, big up to JR and the Rights Academy. You know, I'm mentoring young kings and queens now. So for me, that's always gonna be. I'll always be involved in it. But I just felt
like come soon. I'm sending that to you soon. Don't worry.
That's fine. I'll probably have her mixing with no headphones in about 6 months. If she's your lady, so,
you know this, isn't it?
But you will. I've seen it on your stories. She's ready.
I see that. But I think I'm just at a stage. I'm personally at a stage now where the club life and all of that doesn't really interest me in that regard. Do you know what I mean? It's part and parcel. It's a job to me. I still love it. I still enjoy it. But you know, just being out there and all of that. I mean, I don't know, and this is going to be like probably a little bit controversial, but with regards to like the whole 10 p.m. lockdowns and stuff, for me as a DJ who's like 42, I'm like, you know what?
Listen, you know how happy I'm all right with that, you know.
You know what? Yeah, we was out the other day. We was out at Aquam for Warner's birthday. You know, we got a little food, a little drink. You know, man. Then we go out and you know we do these things now because that's something that we didn't have the opportunity to do as well. A lot of the time, when the only time we would only see our peers is when we were DJing. And me and the team have kind of always made it a point to at least meet up every couple of months. So we go get a food and whatever. So we went out for Warner's birthday, and we were out of Aquam at 9:45. And I was at home 10:20. I said, "Lord,
I like this, isn't it?
What?
What?
And I feel looking fresh still.
Exactly.
Instead of coming in at like 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Like I just don't have that in me anymore. So like I feel like, and there's gonna be temptation everywhere. You're gonna go gym. You're gonna be out of like it's everywhere. But like as you know, Miss Afshan said, it's all about how you kind of deal with it. And I'd say personally, within the last 6 months, my spiritual growth and development and the way that I lean on God and my faith and my religion has tripled. Tripled. Like I'm this is like my home studio, but this is also my prayer space. So I wake up in the morning, and before I do anything, I'm in here. I'm doing. Yeah, come on, Aaron. I'm home for match of the day, B. No, before man's leaving out. Man's leaving out. Man's leaving out the match of the day starting. Come, Sha, don't gas me.
You know what? But you know, sorry, just to say, in relation to that. So obviously, when you normally work events and you finish the event and you're there for about another hour or whatever. So the other day, I decided I didn't go back to my own place. I thought, let me come back to my mum and dad's because my little one was here. So I thought, let me come back. Why did I walk in and my mum looked at me like she'd seen a ghost?
Yeah.
What? Because I was in my house before 11 o'clock. She said, what happened? Did it get cancelled? I said, no, I finished at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. And to be fair, even before COVID happened, there were a lot of these brunch events coming.
Yeah.
I was enjoying that. It's like Hot Stepper would be like Shah or Ash. Or,
I'm
like, what? Finish at 6 o'clock p.m. I can still
What? You want to book me till 6 p.m.?
Yes.
Wait, so I can get home and man can watch and deck. Are you mad? Don't gas me. Man can watch and deck. I could be home by 8. No, you're gassing. Them times. Normally, phone T21. Yeah, T21 will tell you on a normal Saturday night, don't phone me at 8 o'clock. You know what I'm doing? I'm sleeping. Like he would have to phone the missus. He'd have to phone the wife to like, yo, beg you wake up, Martin, please, because it's like 10:30 now. We meant to be at the venue for like half 12. Yeah. So for me, I'm like, yeah, all this 10 o'clock business, I'm all right with it.
And it's weird. I find myself, so if I'm home and I'm not working an event or we're not out, I'm sitting on the sofa thinking, I feel guilty, like I'm not supposed to be there. Especially if I don't have my little one because she's gone to my sister's house. So I'm sitting there thinking, as much as I love being there and I'm on my sofa, I've got the TV's even off. So I'm sitting on my phone thinking, what am I supposed to be doing? But it's weird. Like, I'm just thinking, should I be out? And then when somebody will say, oh, let's meet up and have dinner or drinks. And I'm like, no, I'm quite comfortable here. But you feel lost. So you're kind of you do want to be out, but actually you're actually enjoying just being on your sofa, doing nothing, talking to nobody and just in your silence. Yeah.
Because now for me, like if I'm doing stuff on a Saturday, so obviously the whole time changes has happened, but you know, before we were still able to go on until like 1, 2s and whatever.
Yeah.
And like now, even in the last couple of months, I've actually turned down bookings on a Saturday night because I'm like, do you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I need to be fresh for Sunday service.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
and that's the thing. That's the thing as well. I feel like it's not a thing where I'm Christian, so I'm not supposed to do that. So let me try not to do it. You naturally will stop wanting to. I genuinely don't want to go anywhere, but I'll go if I haven't seen Ash for a long time. Like, and I know she's working somewhere. Oh, I'll come and spend a little time with you and stuff like that. But that's why I'm coming to see my friends.
And for me, that's where I'm at right now. I'm like, yo, do you know what? I don't really want to be up late, you know, because I need to be up at 7 and do the test streams and all of that, and I need to be online and ready to go at 9 o'clock. Now, had you said that to me 2 years ago, or maybe even a year ago, I'd be like, boy, you know what? And at these times, I was still heavily DJing, doing all of the stuff that I was doing. I was still working my part-time job as well. And just to be in this position now, so just quickly, I got made redundant in April by Carphone Warehouse. I was there for like 21 years.
Mad.
You know, I got this
crazy.
I got this really small payout. Got this small payout. I've been there 21 years. Like, I
don't even understand that, but we'll talk about that offline.
We'll talk about that off, yeah. But like, I got this small payout. I've been made redundant. I had 27 weddings booked in, 5 of them abroad. I had all this stuff happening. you know, and financially, I was like, raw, how am I gonna even live?
Yeah.
How am I gonna live? And the way that God has just moved, and the way that God has just opened doors, and the way that God has moved things, like if you'd said to me 8 months ago that I'd be working with Croydon Council and I'll be sitting in meetings with, you know, the Mayor of London, the Deputy Mayor, the police, working with Crystal Palace and their charity, and working with the BME Forum, and setting up my own program, like I would have been like, nah, that's not happening. But you see, like God was just working. So like now I'm in a position where I'm saying, right, all right, God, if you're gonna do all of this, I gotta do my part now, innit?
Yeah.
Do my part, because you're clearly showing me that this whole faith thing and you work. Yeah. So I'm gonna run with you in it.
You started doing your thing. It was that a little bit of obedience, because you were saying no about playing the gospel. It's like you did that. Okay, let me be obedient for this thing.
Yeah,
and then you told something.
That,
and you're like, all right.
That one Saturday, I was sat here, and I can tell you, it was Saturday night into Sunday morning. It was about 12:25, like at night, and I was watching DJR's Red Room, and I saw him going like, and he was going live. He was doing his thing on IG, and God literally just said to me, "See, tomorrow morning, you're gonna do Sunday service. You're just gonna do a Sunday service on Instagram." And I was like, "No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it." And the next thing, all I knew is that I was making a little flyer on my phone, and I posted it. And I don't really look heavily at numbers, but I posted it at like 1:30 at night. And then when I woke up the next morning, it had like something like 200 and something likes and about 50 plus shares. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And then like in the peak of lockdown, like I think we had over like 400 people on one Sunday. There was one Sunday we had over 400 plus on a Sunday service. So I'm just telling this, my little testimony, my little story, because I know like somebody, like my spirit is telling me that somebody needs to hear it. And like, right now, there's somebody that's kind of just battling with their thing and saying, I'm just saying, just be a little bit obedient. Like, like Bible says, you need the faith for the size of a mustard seed. And that's what I just said, all right, God, I'm just going to do this. I got faith in you.
I'll give you one thing in it. I'll give you
Sunday service in it. I'm going to give you Sunday service. And now he's just opened up all these doors for me. And now I'm in a position where I can, I'm financially doing okay. Like, let's not get it twisted. Yeah. It could get sticky real quick, but my faith is telling me not. But that's what I'm saying. So that's just my little piece.
Okay, I've got a question in the comments that I've just gone back to before we do like a closing question from Claudine. Always comes with good questions.
She's an MBE. What do you expect?
Well, this is it. You don't just get an MBE for being, for sitting in the back. To what extent is this translatable? This is when we were talking about being in that environment, being in an environment, but still being yourself. To what extent is this translatable to the next generation? Can they hang out with roadman with the joint enterprise issues and not be associated with negative vibes?
Af, do you want to go?
Do you know what you cut out at where this relates to? What did you say? Because you cut out.
It's right, where we were talking about being in what's seen as a dark environment, but still being yourself.
I think that it's a difficult one to answer. The reason being is because you and yourself know that the people that you're hanging around with or you're associating yourself with are following a dark path. And obviously, we all have people around us that may not be on the same journey as you, and they may not always be on the right path. And I say right path in inverted commas because there's no correct path. It's just your path and what feels good for you. Yes, there's going to be things even in my path. It's not everything I do which is correct. I make mistakes.
Well, in this case, it's not criminal. In this case.
Yeah. And it's about being able to say, you know what, to these people that maybe not do that, or maybe try and encourage them not to do the criminal things. The reality is that if you hang around with them, you are going to be associated with them, unfortunately. And if something goes down, you are going to go down, be pulled into that road. You know, it is about being strong enough to make those decisions, to say what is right for you and what right isn't. And in everything in life, whether it's criminal activities or whether it's the clubbing scene, you know, it's being able to say, you know what, that isn't for me. Those people aren't for me when they're doing those things.
Yeah.
Do they want to come and check me when I'm in my house and we can chill and we can talk about life, you know, and we can do this thing called life? Fine. But do I need to be on a street corner at 9 o'clock at night, knowing that there's going to be some illegal activity going on?
I mean, I feel like people will hang around with people who they feel they have things in common with. So yeah. I have a lot of friends that are not Christian, like Afshan for one, but we have a lot in common. Just there's the respect there, and do you know what I mean? So if I don't know, if you were doing just a bag of criminal stuff, like I'm not going to be comfortable around you. It's like we can't gel.
Right.
So I feel like if I was thinking about a young person, maybe like a young lad, all these friends are just on a madness on the road. He knows that's not what he wants to do. It is about trying to be an example, because I do that. Like, I don't push my faith or religion on anyone, but I will be a certain way. Like, they'll see me go through the maddest stuff, but still, I've still got that little flicker of joy in me, no matter how bad it is. Yeah. And then people will question that, which gives you an opportunity to share what you believe. Do you know what I mean? They'll be like, how come how come you look like this? Or how come, like, whenever people say,
so positive.
So even when they say, like, you look so young, how come you're 40? You can't be 40. I'll be like, Jesus and astral, fam. Yeah? So, you know, you just have to be an example and be attractive, not in looks, but be just an attractive person that people are drawn to you, and people want to know why you're this way, or how come you got through that so easy? How come, what is it? And they'll ask you, and then you can share. You're not pushing it on them, but they're asking you, so you can tell them. So I think for young people, it's very difficult, because a lot of young people want to fit in and they don't want to stand out. And it's just about trying to find people that you have things in common with.
Yeah, because even some of the young guys that I'm working with at the moment in Croydon, you know, I've been kind of working with them, like, with regards to mentoring for probably about 6 to 7 weeks. And like, one of them was like, he hit me up on the one away. He's like, bro, like, I just like your vibe, you know, Milks. I like your vibe. He's like, no, Milks, like, your vibe's you're kind of cool still, you know, like that. I was like, cool. Like, and he's like, He's like, yeah, come on. I mean, he was chatting, and he was like, yeah, like, so, like, we do on the weekends. I'm like, yeah, like, you know, raised in church. He's like, right, you do the church thing for? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, cool, say no more. And then he was on Sunday service about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I love that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's like, when I was growing up, some of my good friends in there, I know, like, everybody sees me with Milks or whatever, like, you know, part of the or whatever. But I know some real bad man in there.
Same.
And, like, you see when I was growing up, the one thing about my man them, the bad man them, the man that was out there on roads and doing bits and pieces, the man was like, yo, Milks, this ain't for you, B.
This ain't for you.
This ain't for you, brother. Like, I remember one time, I've never said this live or anywhere, but I remember there was one time, and I was pretending to smoke a cigarette. Yeah, I never actually did it. Yeah, and I would like sometimes when we're out, like, if I see a smoke and I know, I'll be like, yo, choose me, fam. Like, shut up, bro, you did. Yeah, I had a cigarette. I was like, just on my mark. I said, hey, fam, I'll box you from your mouth, fam. I'll phone your dad right now, fam. Like, so, like, my roadman was just never like that. But I know, like, it's a different time right now, and you know, the goalposts have been moved heavily. So to anybody that's younger, and you know, and you're kind of dealing with, you know, your faith, in regardless what kind of religion or, you know, beliefs you got, I just say, like, I'm 42, and I don't even think I'm a quarter way there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I've only just really started to kind of walk in my faith and believe what I'm believing. So if you're like 17, 18, 19, 20, and you're kind of dealing with that, like it's not easy, but you just got to keep plowing through. You just got to keep like.
And it's the same. And I think it's like, I used to work with the youth offending teams, and you find the young people who are battling their own journeys with their peers, because obviously one group of friends is doing this and one group and it was never and like same with Milktray, and I know that we've all done mentoring in different capacities. We never dictate to the young person what they should and shouldn't do. We just give them the options that are actually on the table, because sometimes the negative options are always highlighted, whereas we're in place in those people's lives in whatever capacity to show them that there's other roads, there's other routes. I've worked with loads of young people who were Christian and Catholic. I even took them to church because for me, they were scared, they were a little bit scared, but they were intrigued. And for me, I was placed in a position where, okay, well, let's go and explore. Let's go and speak to somebody in the church, or let's go and speak to somebody in a mosque. Let's show them a different way of life, because obviously the negative side will always be very powerful and very dominating. And obviously we're there just to show them that there's always a choice in life. There's always going to be a different route. And in whichever way, and if faith can play a part in whatever religion you are, then let's try and encourage that, because it's just a different guidance. And it's just a different, an outlet, another outlet, the right way, hopefully.
Oh, I love that. 2 seconds. Oh, do you mind? Boys, brush your teeth.
You're lucky I haven't seen the little one flying here, because I can hear my mum holding her.
Go and brush your teeth. So
thank you, Claudine.
Thank you.
I'm a dad first.
Of course.
Whenever I'm I'm a dad first.
Yeah. You reminded me of Maya when you sent me the video of her put into the church, saying that I need to take her to the church.
So every day we walk past the church on the way to nursery. So every day she's been saying, this building. I said, Mom, am I at the church? And she said, yes, I want to go. I said, all right, here's the phone. Ask Auntie Shah. Yeah. So she said, Auntie Shah, good morning. Can you take me to church, please?
Yeah.
And because I'm not closing doors, I'm opening doors. I want her to be excited by religion and faith, because the religions teach the message and the morals and the values they teach are all the same. And if Auntie Shah can take her to church and she loves it, I'm all for it. That doesn't take away from her being a Muslim. That doesn't take away anything from my faith. It makes it more stronger, because she falls in love with another aspect of a religion. And this is what a lot of religious people fail to understand or grasp.
You missed that point.
Totally. We're trying to love the faith and love the morals and the values it teaches. Let's not get so
this is different, so don't mix with them. Don't mix with them, because they do that.
Yeah. So at the moment, every morning, yesterday, it was the same thing. I meant to call you yesterday, Shah. Auntie Shah didn't take me to the church. I said, Mama, the church is closed at the moment because of COVID. She said, oh, okay. But tell Auntie Shah that she has to take me. I said, oh.
I love her. She's so cute.
And she obviously runs everywhere, so she's wants to run to church.
Every day.
So
I completely forgot. Someone sent me a comment. So I'm really trying to close, but sorry, there was a comment. No, I'm not even going to read it. I'm not. No, it was a long one as well. I'm not going to read it because it's kind of going backwards.
Okay. So it's all right, Milktray. Can I soon send it? I'm going to soon send it to Sunday service.
That's fine. Just line up the iPad.
Listen. Because remember, gospel, I know nothing about. I'm not even going to try and front. I've got no gospel records, no gospel music. I'll probably listen to it and don't know it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to send her. You can school her on the gospel.
Don't worry. I'm going to give her some Kirks and all of that business. And
do it.
Because right now, the other day that I tagged you in, actually, Ash. And it's very contemporary.
Yes.
But that's one of the ones that
I downloaded the albums. Oh, I downloaded it straight away because it's now on Spotify.
Yes, I've had other DJ, one in particular, international DJ, who was asking me about music. He wanted to do a playlist, but he wanted gospel, but he didn't know. And as usual, people in that world think that I don't know, like I'm just the answer. Like I'm not only.
I had a DJ that we know asked me recently. I was like, yo, I need a gospel playlist, B. Sort me out.
Yeah.
So
because the thing is, you're my avenue.
How?
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, mine, just so you know, like if I'm in a time of need, or I'm upset, or we've had a death, or I just feel like I need to make sure, Shah's my point of call. In our group, in our girlfriend group with Carly, I say to them, Shah, I really need you right now. I really need your prayers. Because we're connected by faith. You know, we're sisters by faith, irrespective of the fact that they're two different religions. Shah hears from me on the regular saying, can you please keep me in your prayers? My aunt really needs your prayers right now. My family needs your prayers.
Yeah.
That's what my friends do for me, irrespective of the religion, the differences in the religion. I ask Shah regularly for prayers, and I have done.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh, you guys. I've got one more.
Go on, girl.
We've been on for a good hour and a half. I think that's great. What advice would you give to someone of faith who is worried about getting involved in the industry?
Come on.
I knew he was gonna say that. The advice I would give anybody is you have to walk your own walk. Your walk is individual to you, because that's how you've been made. We're all individuals. And you know, I would say, if that's a passion of yours, at some point, you know, regardless what your faith or your religious beliefs are, it will become a focal point for you. It will make room for you. Like the Bible says, your gift will make room for you. This has become a, you know, my gift. My gift and my passion for music and entertaining has now made room for me. And it's made room for me in areas that I didn't even know were possible. Do you know what I mean? Like my legacy now is gonna be, you know, DJ Milktray, Sweet Boy Entertainment, but it's also gonna be Milktray's Motivation. It's gonna be the Hope Program. We're gonna have, you know, it's gonna be, you know, associated with the Rights Academy. You know, one of my DJs that I've been teaching from the age of 7, she's now 10, Summer Rae.
I've seen her. She's amazing. I mean,
Summer Rae is just
amazing.
She's amazing, and she's 10. Yeah. But if these two ladies had said that to me 10 years ago, and I've known both of them for even longer than that, I would have been like, nah. I'm just Milks in it. Sweet Boy Entertainment, you know what I mean? Bookings on the road, you know what I mean? Like now, it's made so much room for me, yeah. And it's been able to bless my family. You know, we've been able to, you know, financially do things that we weren't able to do. And now when I think about bookings and stuff and our circuit, there's a financial glass ceiling.
Yeah.
The financial glass ceiling. And the reason why I can say this so confidently with these two amazing women is because sometimes they're the ones that give us the envelope. So they know exactly how much money DJs get paid. Yeah. And I just got to a point where I said to myself, God, I don't want to come out and get paid 150.
Yeah.
Because realistically, I've got to do 4 or 5 of those to make it worthwhile for me to bring home to my family.
Yeah.
Yeah? So I then, like, my faith and my religion and my passion for music then started to move me. And then I started doing weddings. And then, like,
crazy.
Wedding money is very, very, it's very, very different. And when you're good at what you do, when you're very good at what you do, and then you know how to, you know, associate and then add add-ons and then
you're throwing me a fiver now?
Not too famous.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
That'll be, but you know, being able to go from just doing weddings to then being the MC and the wedding DJ, that then was able to put my price up even more. So then I didn't need to play out on the circuit. Yeah. But again, like, it's opened up doors. So to anybody that is doing that walk right now, like, just understand that your gift will make room. And if you need somebody to just look at, somebody that is tangible. I know we all look at all these people and whatever, but like, I'm just a guy from the ends. Yeah.
Same.
I'm in my house. As you saw, I just told my twin boys to brush their teeth and go to bed. Boys, why can't I hear you talking? Like, it will make room for you. So don't let anybody shun you. Like, and as long as you know, and you'll get to a point where consciously and spiritually you will start feeling a shift. Like, everybody knows if Milktray's playing in a rave, you're primarily gonna hear radio edits. That's just what it is. Yeah. Like, it is, and like at one point it was like, fam, why are you playing radio edits? I was like, fam, I just don't feel comfortable playing the non-edited version. And if everybody knows the non-edited version, they'll just sing along anyway. Yeah. And that's how it is. So, you know, I've had that kind of conversation with myself many times over the years. And I'm now at a point where I'm feeling like, you know what, this is like really like a new beginning, and I'm really excited. So to anybody that is kind of on that journey and you're kind of wanting to get into this industry, just do it, but be mindful, be sensible, and just lean heavily on your faith.
Yeah.
I think same everything that Martin just said. I think that you have to be true to yourself. So whatever journey you're taking, whether it is to enter the events industry or become a DJ or working in any type of industry that you may or may not, people may not deem as harmful to your faith or your religion, you've got to serve your purpose. So whatever your purpose is in life, you have to fulfill that, and you have to be happy in that journey. So, you know, yes, we can take on board other people's opinions, but ultimately it's down to you and your purpose and what you feel is comfortable and what makes you happy. Ultimately, life is short, and we have to start doing things that make us happy. And ultimately, in that role of finding what makes you happy, you'll find your purpose.
I would say, come on, Pastor. I need to find a.
Come on.
I feel a horn. Where's that? That's what I feel like.
Hold on. Let me see. Have I got it on? No, I see. Hold on. No, there it is.
I think I would say, and this goes for any industry
on a Wednesday night. Sorry, Charles.
Or any kind of role. If you can't be yourself, first of all, if you have to pretend to be something to be accepted somewhere, and if you have to compromise your faith, don't be there. It won't work for you if you're having to pretend the whole time. You know, act how everyone else is acting for you to fit in, or you know, just anything, any environment where you have to be fake. That's not for you. That's what I would say. But if it's something that you really love, you really want to get involved in, you find a way where you can be yourself, you don't have to compromise your faith, you don't have to do anything that's gonna, you know, make you feel really bad or guilty or anything like that, then you're good. Do you know what I mean? Don't worry about what other people are saying. Just be yourself and stick to your purpose, stick to your, you know, your goals and what you're trying to do. And like Milk said, your gift will make room for you.
Come on. Jeez.
Oh, I feel good now. I need to go and do something constructive.
No, but everybody, can I be honest here? Before we go, Shah was quite worried about this whole topic.
Oh yeah.
Really?
No, serious. Like, I spoke to Shah yesterday. Like, she messaged me and she's like, Milks, so I want to do this thing tomorrow, but I don't know. I'm like, Shah, we're just doing it. We're just doing it. We're not going to worry about the naysayers and the who said what and this, that, and the other, because like this needs to be said. Like, not only like,
can I just say something? So you threw me in the deep end. We didn't even prep. I was feeling nervous as hell today. Like, I don't even know what I'm going to say. I don't even know how I'm going to behave. I don't even know what I'm going to look like on this damn thing. Yeah, but the thing is, she prepped you and you're the pro. She didn't prep me.
It wasn't a prep. I was just saying, I was saying I was worried.
She was worried. So I just phoned her. I was like, look, listen, stop all this foolishness now.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, Milks. All right. I love it. Love that.
And I texted her to say, I'm a little bit scared.
Yeah.
It's been good. It's been great. It's been amazing.
I think so.
Yeah, it has. It's been really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this.
Yes,
Show.
and thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
I'm glad I saved you for this one, because remember I was going to have you on another one. I'm like, no, I know this something else.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
This was good. I think this was a really good conversation with the right people.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in, Chantel.
Yeah, big up
Thank
Chantal.
you. Big up, Chantal.
Big
Yeah.
up.
I feel like a DJ. I feel like a DJ now by saying that. Big up.
Come on.
That's right, Claudine. I can easily.
When you're an MBE, yeah, the way you talk is different. You just talk different.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm trying to get. That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to that MBE, OBE stage. You know, like
yeah. We're right behind you. We're right behind you, Martin. We're right behind you.
All right. So I think we're good. We can. I had we're a little bit behind. So Claudine's just heard what you just said about how you different when you're MBE. That's right. I can't say a name without saying MBE.
No, you can't.
It's important.
Even when
It is important.
I only met her last week, you know. We were doing some filming for Crystal Palace. Yeah, so and I like, and then Anthony King introduced us that she's at MBE. I said, "Raw Till." I said, "Go."
And I remember the thing I sent you about a Saturday morning, this women's kind of group. Saturday, I think I sent it to you and Carly. Claudine hosts that as well.
Okay. I think I'm going to join if I can. Yeah. Inviting myself places.
Mentor DJ Milktray after that.
Yay!
That is hilarious.
No, it's been great, man.
Yeah, that's what I meant to put up, just to make sure everyone's on Sunday.
Amazing.
Yeah, the change of time.
Cause my little sister's locked in, and she's not really a church girl, but I see her in there, LOL, rolling heads. I'm like, okay, good morning, sis.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
when we're mixing Kirk Franklin with Pop Smoke and all of that.
This is it.
It's mad. We're mixing Mary with Rick Ross and all of that. It's mad.
It's amazing.
We're doing like gospel and we're doing kings and queens.
Yes, I heard that the other day.
The place on Sunday service is mad.
Yeah.
I love it. People, make sure you tune in to that.
Thank you, man.
Follow Milktray on Instagram. Wake up early on a Sunday. You could still be in your bed. That's the great thing about it.
Yeah, and still
in your bed. I can't.
No, sorry.
No.
But it works better because when you finish, my church starts. So before it was messing with me because I'm like, oh, click.
This is what people. This is why I changed the time, because people were like, Milks, like you're making me have to have 3 devices. Because I'm on Sunday service, but then I'm on my church service, and then like I said, no, do you know what? Let me just change the time. And I'm not gonna lie, since we changed the time, the numbers have gone crazy.
Brilliant.
Yeah, the numbers have gone crazy. Like, so we had like over 300 plus on Sunday. So we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch as well now.
Oh yes, expanded. See, come on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Worldwide, that's what we're going for.
Yeah, so.
Oh, thank you, KG911.
Thank you. Oh, and they said Martin. I love that. Hey, come on. Martin. Said Martin.
Okay, we're going to close out. Don't forget to like and share this video. It will still be up on YouTube. And subscribe to the channel. I forget to say that. I've hardly got any subscribers. I've had this channel.
No, everybody subscribe, yeah? Because then
subscribe now.
What we can do when we get Shah to a certain number, then she can start monetizing. Me and Simple Simon were talking about this yesterday on our podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's do it.
Getting to a point where we need to start monetizing. Yeah.
We have to. This is our passion. This is our outlet, and we need to start making it work for us.
Yeah,
definitely.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
So we're going to sign out. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.